Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Chief Kevin Anderson, thank you for having me here this evening. First off, I want to just say, on behalf of the entire police department, I'd like to thank the Finance Committee for your support for the new police station. We have been in for about a month, and it's amazing. It's a perfect building for our 21st century model. Considering we're 24/7 operation, has gone very smoothly. The building committee did an outstanding job overseeing the design and construction of the project. We also formed internal working groups and subject matter experts within the department that volunteered and assisted with various aspects and decisions that affected police operations. The transition team did an outstanding job preparing the department for the move, often working 16 hours a day. It was a huge undertaking. We would not have been able to move in without all the staff's hard work. We had E911 transition scheduled for a specific date and time on February 22nd. That had to be seamless in order to provide continuous public safety for the town. This was truly a team effort with the police department and members of the community to build a public safety building that will last for many years and serve the community very well. And I want to thank you all here today. I'd like to give you a little overview of the police department. The department has 74 full-time employees serving over 38,000 residents with a current annual budget of $6.5 million, and that was for fiscal '23. The department has 58 sworn officers, 14 support and clerical staff, including 1 full-time mental health clinician, and the department also has 14 part-time officers to assist with road details and special events. In 2022, there were 44,575 incidents, which averages out to be over 122 a day. That's a 6% increase from 2021, and it's an approximately 15% increase from 2019, and a 73% increase from 2010. To give you an idea, the national average police department staffing is 2.3 per 1,000 residents. We are at 1.48 per 1,000. If we had staffing at the national average, we would have approximately 87 officers, which comparable communities to our size in Mass right now around that number. And that would be Braintree and the city of Marlborough. Some accomplishments for 2023. 2023, we created a new mission statement that was developed with input from the department personnel. And that mission statement is, the mission of the Shrewsbury Police Department is to enhance the quality of life and safety of our community by developing lasting partnerships with our residents and visitors. We serve together. We're in the process of replacing our records management system to Central Square Pro. The new RMS system will allow us to better track incidents, manage events, and connect with various software platforms in the department. We are halfway through that 2-year development and data migration phase on the project, and its scheduled completion date should be a year from this fall. We also hired a mental health clinician in 2022, Jessica Atwood. It's been a great addition to our department. Just to give you an idea, from April to December of 2022, 210 individuals were referred to our clinician by officers. 67 were diverted from unnecessary hospitalizations. And this is interesting to note. The estimated healthcare savings cost is over $180,000. 5 individuals were diverted from arrest. Estimated savings to the criminal justice system, approximately $15,000. Very proud of the department. We are ranked 9th safest community in the state, and we're ranked 40th in the country by SafeWise. SafeWise Cities ranking. That's a credit to the hard work the members of the department do on a daily basis. Over the past 2 years, we rewrote all existing policies and procedures and developed a new department policy and procedure manual. We had an internal working group, including myself, along with Lexipol attorneys, and developed 172 new policies. And those policies were aligned with Massachusetts police reform and met or exceeded accreditation standards. Policy and procedure manual is complete, and new policies will be rolled out weekly over the next several months. Our primary goals for fiscal 2024, develop a new department drone program. This will allow police and fire to search areas of ground terrain that's too dangerous or too difficult to access on foot. They can also search large areas more quickly And thermal optics can locate people during both day and night searches. We're also going to have ASHA training for the entire department, including myself. ASHA training is Active Shooter Hostile Event Response. It's a multi-agency first responder approach to an active shooter event. That includes police, fire, and EMS. We're also going to increase Lakeland Sigma patrol operations and safety through the use of a department jet ski. Will allow us to access areas of the lake we currently cannot with the boat. Also this summer, we're going to host our first Youth Police Academy. We're going to have 2 different academies for people in children in middle school and in high school. We did have some significant budget challenges, requesting an additional 1 lieutenant position. And just keep in mind, my original request was 1 lieutenant, 1 detective, 2 traffic officers, and 1 additional officer for the midnight shift for the increased calls of service. Keep in mind, if I get approved to hire somebody right now, it would take me about 2 years to have that officer on the street. So we have to keep in mind, we have to be ahead of the fact, the growth in the town.
So that wouldn't hit your actual budget for 2 years. If you get the okay today and was budgeted for $100,000, you actually wouldn't be spending that for 2 years. Is that
No,
what?
we would be spending that within about 6 to 8 months.
Okay.
That would be the point we would be able to get somebody in the academy. Once
Okay.
they go in academy for about 6 months, then after that, they'd be on field training program, and that's 3 months.
Okay.
It just it takes time to do background checks. They have to have 2 different medicals, 2 different physicals, and they also have to pass a physical standard test. Backfilling of vacant patrol officers for that reason has been difficult over the last couple of years. Inflationary pressures on the department, like everybody else. It's been everything from paper goods, office and cleaning supplies, tires have become more expensive, the wear and tear on the cruisers is more expensive, equipment and ammunition has gone up significantly. And we need a lot of ammunition for the training of the officers while they're in the academy. In these requests that I'm here for tonight, it ties to the strategic plan, and it ties to exceptional, to recruit, develop, and support a highly skilled and compassionate workforce through appropriate employee training. We also have some capital improvement plans that I'm requesting. Our firearms are at the end of their life. About 5 to 6 years, you have to replace firearms. We're at year 6. Also, we want to have AEDs for police cruisers. Also, we're requesting 3 hybrid cruisers. My original request was 6. As we increase in personnel, we increase in the amount of fleet that we have to have. So for every 2 officers, we need an additional cruiser, roughly. And also asking tonight for Central Square Police software. This is the second payment of the record management software that I spoke about earlier. And then also, we were requesting $16,000, and that's for police equipment, which is 10 what we call go bags, and those have helmets and bulletproof vests in them, so we could respond to an active shooter event. And also 2 bikes, and that would include and improve our community policing initiatives. Thank you for your time, and if you have any questions.
So first of
Great.
all, Chief, thank you. Thank you for all that you and your department do to keep our city safe. And the very fact that you're understaffed, the data that you shared, you're understaffed based compared to other towns, but we're still number 9 in terms of safety in the state. Or is that the country or the state? The state.
In the state.
Yes, that's great credit to you and your team. So I had a question regarding the health, the mental health clinician. So you mentioned she covered some 280 cases or 180 cases?
Yes, she covered, hold on, I'll get that, it's 200. Where is it? Yeah.
Even though the number doesn't really matter, I was wondering, does that imply she's overworked? That person is overworked and?
No, she's not. It's actually a perfect fit. Most departments our size, they actually share their mental health clinician with 1 or 2 other communities. So we're very fortunate. We have 1 just for our community.
I see.
Again, it was 210 from April to December.
Okay, thank you. Jean had a question.
Yeah, I
Sure.
have a couple of questions on the capital budget itself. On the software, why wasn't some of that incorporated into the new building?
The records management software was requested prior to us moving into the new building. That was during the early phase of the move.
So there were no additional funds, we had funds left over from the building that could have been used for some of that software at large amounts?
We're not there yet with the building. We're still working through, so we haven't received all the invoices. We're only about 83% invoiced through the construction budget for the building at this time. In the end, there may be funds that are available.
Could be used for that?
It could be used for that, but the current records management software system has actually been beyond end of life because the company that we used named Pamit decided to go out of business and provide very little notices for the communities that they support. So we have scrambled over the last 24 months to get Central Square up and running. It's been harder than we thought, but there's been a number of complications. And so we phased out the funding cycle for this software over those 2 years.
I have one.
Please,
One additional question on firearms, 50,000. So those were about $1,000 apiece?
It's about about $900, a little over $900 a piece, and then we get a trade on the firearms that we have now. We trade those in, so it brings it down a little
And the
bit.
$20,000 extra for bullets is for new officers?
It's for new officers, recruits, and then also for our training.
How often are they going to the range?
We go once a year.
Once a year. Thank you.
Question is,
yes.
as far as I know, we're not using body cams right now in Shrewsbury.
We actually, we're not using them currently, but
Yep.
we're starting a pilot program
Okay.
that's gonna be started in 2 weeks.
Okay, because I was going to say there was nothing in the budget, so I didn't know. So that would be at least a year away then to,
We're gonna do a pilot program with 12 officers, and that's gonna be for about 3 months, and we're planning to have everyone equipped with a body camera by the fall.
okay. And I'm just wondering where that fit into the budget, which I'm actually happy to hear that because I think it's good for both the officers and the public to have that, but
Yeah, we were able to get that on a grant.
Okay.
We're also applying for another grant to get additional cameras.
great.
And
And,
I'm sorry, how that works is when the officer comes in, you put in a docking station, and then all the video goes right to the cloud.
that's what I was going to ask, how it gets, so it automatically gets uploaded.
Stored cloud-based,
Cloud
yes.
space. Great. And then, I have another question. On the hybrid cruisers, how much more are we paying for a hybrid cruiser than a regular cruiser?
We actually pay less because right now we get a rebate when we buy a hybrid cruiser.
Okay, so you're qualifying for the same, whatever, 7,500 or whatever it is rebate?
Exactly.
Okay. And how much better mileage, et cetera, do those actually get?
I don't know, honestly, I don't know the exact number, but I've heard anywhere from 2 miles to 5 miles a gallon, but I don't know that for sure.
But
It's in that range.
Yeah, it's in
but
the,
off of, but what's the cruiser normally get? Is it the cruiser getting 10 miles per gallon and now we get an extra 2, or is it getting 30 miles and we get an extra 2?
It's about 18 miles per gallon.
Okay.
On an internal combustion.
Yep.
Yep. So you're in the low 20s, 22, 23 miles.
Okay, so percentage wise, that's what I was wondering. It's a bigger percentage wise if you're talking that. Okay, that's, I'll let someone else.
Milind had a question.
Yep, so one comment and one question. A youth academy has been, I think, I would say a great success because my daughters tried to sign up on the same day and they got wetlisted. So we need more of those.
okay.
That's the comment I would like to share. So it's a great initiative. Thank you for that. Question would be, as we are going through a development phase across the town, do you track metrics as to, is there an uptick in the calls that you receive month over month, with any new, like Edgemere went live during this fiscal year, right? So did you see any uptick or any additional calls that we track?
Sure. So the 3 that have gone up quite a bit, traffic, lake calls, the lake incidents, we had over 800 this summer on the lake, and then identity theft. Those are the 3 that have gone up significantly.
Thank you.
And over the last 3 years, mental health calls have gone up quite a bit.
Gene,
Could I have one follow-up?
Sure.
You indicated the jet ski. I didn't see that in the budget. Where is the jet ski listed?
The jet ski was approved through ARPA funding.
Okay. Is that gonna be stored at the boathouse?
It is.
It is. You know, the boat must be getting a few years old, because we've had that boat now for
Yeah.
8, 9 years. What
Yeah.
is the condition of the boat?
We had to replace the motor, just because we have to, it wasn't functioning anymore. But the boat itself is gonna have to be replaced, and that's gonna be a big cost, about $200,000.
And then the boathouse will have to be changed too, because that's a pretty small boathouse.
It's actually, it's not bad, depending if we get a boat that's bigger than what we have, but the jet ski is gonna be outside of the boathouse, and it's gonna be on a lift. And that was included with ARPA funding as well.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Carlos, after Carl.
I'm sorry. Thank you. Just wanted to thank you, Chief, for all that you and the department do. I really appreciate the mental health clinician stats that you just shared, because I think that really speaks to the need for mental health services and support out there in the community. I did have a follow-up question about the cruisers. I know the goal is to get 100% hybrid cruisers. Do you know where we are now?
Right now, we have, with the ones we're gonna get upcoming in July,
Yep.
we're gonna be at 7. Our goal is by fiscal 2027 to have half of our fleet hybrid.
27. Awesome.
What's that?
I'm good. Thank you.
So the software, you said we have a whole nother year to go on the software, so would we expect another request for the software funding in next year's budget, or this will cover through the end of the project?
So this will cover the end of the project,
Okay,
and then because it was pushed off, the company has agreed to let that first year be the first year maintenance.
okay,
So typically, it's about $52,000 a year, and again, in those maintenance fees and subscription costs, so they're gonna push that off a year.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any more questions from the board? We were all set. Thank you, Chief.
Okay, thank you for your time.